Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me, the only movie review horror podcast that knows better than to trust a small young girl with amazing artistic talent. Today we have Carly and Brooke with us. Ashley is taking a night off with some chaos to deal with, but it's neutral chaos, so it's all good. But before we get with our awesome co-host, let's see what we're looking at tonight.
Tonight we review Orphan, a 2009 psychological horror film directed by Jaume Collet-Serra and written by David Leslie Johnson from a story by Alex Mace. The film stars Vera Farmiga, Peter Sarsgaard, and Isabelle Fuhrman. In Orphan, Kate and John, devastated by the loss of their unborn baby, decide to adopt a child. At the orphanage, both feel drawn to a little girl named Esther, and soon the couple takes their new daughter home. But when a dangerous series of events unfolds, Kate begins to suspect that there is something evil lurking behind the child's angelic exterior.
Hey.
Oh, yeah! Hey, welcome
We
back,
got
ladies.
special guest.
Hey, hi, special guest.
Fine.
We'll make sure that they also have a pick and how they rate this movie.
Yeah.
So remind me who picked this film?
Me.
Yay!
That way.
I love this film, but I want to hear what Carly thinks.
Oh wow! I tell you what, I was saying, I was watching this during the week instead of on my usual weekends when my aide was here, and she's behind me going, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And so was I. I was covering my mouth, I was covering my eyes, I was like rooting for her being evil, and then going, "Oh my god, she's so evil." It was very entertaining. It was very well done, and the plot twist I did not see coming at all. And I don't know if I should spoil it or not. I mean, this is a 2009 movie.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but you know what? I'd rather not spoil
Right.
it
Yeah.
because just letting people know there's a plot twist, I think is good enough. This is like
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense, where if you give it away, it kind of loses some
Kinda
luster.
yeah.
Yeah, which is where I had come from last week, where I'm like, I had seen the movie, I knew the plot twist, so now I got to watch it again, knowing how it was going to end up. I will tell you that Isabelle playing Esther, the most perfect casting ever. And she's in the prequel, so which is like, 10, 15 years later, she's playing the same character.
Oh,
So I don't know
Yeah.
how she still looks like she looks,
Yeah.
in a prequel. So I don't know. Amazing. I'm looking forward to watching that one. But yeah, I mean, just if you take it, I took all the shots on the intro package of like every facet of how she looks in the film. Like she's painting and she's so angelic. And then, Kate's behind her and her face is different. And like all through the film, you're getting all these little like nuances of her, and it's all still her, but the way they either did the practical makeup or little things they did to like how she was set up for the scene, like just always felt very intentional. Right. So even when she's like learning sign language to talk to the sister, everything had like a manipulated quality to it. And she was like, she knew exactly what she was intending to do, which is creepy and gross all at the same time. So we won't give that away. But even on review and rewatching, knowing how it ends, it did not take away from, actually added to. Watching like how she was working a scene, how she was portraying herself, and like what her machinations were. So I did enjoy it upon second watch. I don't think it deterred at all, knowing how it ends up. But yeah, it's pretty effed up that if you actually know how it is.
Oh yeah.
How about you, bro?
I love this film. I love everything about this film, but I did a little history on the film, and it's based on a real story. I'm not gonna say any details. It's based on two girls, too. So yeah, and I was like, but yeah, it's based on two women or girls.
Interesting. Wow. Now I want to know more about that because I did not see that in my research. I did a little behind the scenes as well, but not that was based on anything.
This is a thing.
Oh
my God.
I love that.
That's what I found interesting. I'm like, oh. But I kind of hinted something was wrong with her because she was really intelligent. She knew certain things that kids wouldn't know, and I'm just like, something's off about her.
I mean, but you know what? But that's not, kids are not just completely obtuse. Like they're not able to be that intelligent and mature, right? I mean, she was just, even the sister was like, oh, she's very mature, she's very intelligent. Look how creative she is. Nobody wants her. She befell all sorts of tragedy with burning up her former family. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can get behind in the film, like that are not just like, hey, that doesn't seem right. But yeah, she definitely wasn't like the other kids.
Yeah.
In that orphanage, for sure. And I was concerned when they're like, we want to pick her. She's amazing. And the face of CCH Pounder in the background, I'm like, what does she know? It's like, she made a face of like, oh no, you really don't want this girl.
Yeah.
But then she acted like, oh, she's so good, she's so this, she's so that, you're gonna have a great time. And then I'm like, what happened? Like, she just had a very pensive look, and I'm like, I think that was as if she knew something. She
kind of did,
right?
Yeah,
she
did
because with her research.
Because she made the mention later that it wasn't that she had done things that she knew of, but she was always there.
Yeah.
Always there.
Yeah. So that's true. She always,
known.
she kind of put 2 and 2 together, but they always came up to 5.
Late.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that the little girl, though, the sister.
Oh yes, Max.
So adorable. So adorable.
Yes.
I would have been devastated had something more terrible befallen her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't mind if something would
it.
happen to the brother, because he was a
Piece of work.
Trying to be all nice, PG to PG, but he was like that typical like. I've been replaced.
He knew though. He knew she was weird. He was like, she's weird.
Yeah, but he just wanted attention. When he was playing Guitar Hero, he's like, Dad, look at me, Dad, look at me. And she was getting all the attention, and he wasn't. He was just being a dick. Yeah, he's like, but
man, I thought more than once that Max was gonna bite it. And I was like, no, nothing better happened to that little girl.
I know, she's like a little angel wing.
I know.
She was so adorable. I mean, it's terrible what did happen to her, but we won't mention it. What? But yeah, this was like, I loved like just the pacing. There was like, I think the beginning though was a little slow. Yeah, I mean, there was the dream, which was like, oh man, this is crazy. And then it just like, it takes this big roller coaster, then drops. And then you get this long-winded, I don't know, like setting up character development, but really not very well. So that was really the only thing in this viewing that I was a little distracted by. Like, they kind of make little inferences of like the situation between what the husband did before, what the wife did before, and like kind of that tension. But they could have just stated it in like a one line or a one scene and not try to do this long drawn out, I'm trying, but I just can't cope. So, I think some of it was a little mishandled after the intro, but before the orphanage. And I think that could have been a little tighter. But, otherwise, once Esther got on board, I was on board.
Oh, yeah. And she had the voice of an angel.
She did.
The way she was singing. But, man, when she busted out that Tchaikovsky on the piano.
But I will tell you that while Vera was like, what the F? I thought you didn't know piano. It's like, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't know how to play. I was just hoping you would teach me as a mommy. So I mean, there was a lot of cool things that was like, all right, I buy into it. I mean, like they at least made a point to the husband's like, well, no, she just wants to spend time with you. And so like they kept like kind of unhooking like the weirdness by coming up with good ways of explaining it away. So I did love that. But what I did also love, and what I want you guys to tell me, is what were your favorites? I mean, there's not a lot of killing going on in this film, to its discredit. But let's talk about your favorite moments, at least. So we'll start with Carly. Just give me your favorite moment, kill, anything.
Favorite moment was the boot to the neck. crack.
Wow. Yeah, that was pretty hardcore.
I'm not your mommy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
that was really I wasn't expecting it. I was hoping that, you know, the police were going to be involved and all that stuff, but then I was like, no, that's the way to go.
Yeah, the hell with the police. How about you, Brooke? What was like your favorite thing?
Mine was when the dad finds the little girl's drawings, and it's the drawings of her and him naked, and I'm like, all right.
And I'm gonna add my favorite to that, because I agree, but I'm also like, two things. One, how much time was this girl left alone to sketch 2 entire walls? Right. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, wouldn't we all have known, because we're parents and we gave you like UV glow in the dark paints? Did she come prepared with those paints? Like, did she come from the orphanage with the bag with all her little, black light paints? I mean, it was cool. I loved it, and the murals, I love them. Yeah. It was like a cool reveal, because they were so like, oh, look at schoolhouse, little orphanage, and then like flames coming out of it. But I was just like, this kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. You're making a big leap about where these paints came from and how much time she's left by herself.
No, maybe she's just that talented that she can go that fast.
That could be. That could be. She did have a stack of painting that's orphanage that through. That's very true. But here's my thing: if this was such an important thing for Kate to have this new child, why would she? If you think about it, she really didn't spend a lot of time with Esther. Yeah. They had time at the piano, but all the time she's looking out the window, and Esther and Max are in the snow spinning around, or they're off the fort. I mean, there was plenty of times where these kids were by themselves, and I'm like, why are these kids always by themselves? That seems like bad parenting. That's all I'm saying.
And when she was like, yeah, your mother was here this time.
Exactly. What? Hey, your mom saw it too. So I mean, I could keep tearing this apart the more we talk about this. I'm like, yeah, man, those kids were just like by themselves in the woods, by the pond. I mean, they seem to have a lot of hurdles and obstacles and things going on that maybe mom should have been a little more, eyes on.
Yeah. She did do her investigation though. Like, she did pretty good.
She did.
But nobody would believe her. The dad got on my nerves. I'm like, he made me so mad. I just wanted to hit him.
Over and over. I was like, okay, that's for every single time you
But at least he was consistent. He was consistent in his disbelief or in his rational thinking. And also that, I think, was appropriate to how their pasts were catching up to them. Right? Like, all of a sudden, like, he had the affair and she had the breakdown and did those terrible things too. So all of a sudden, like, all the idyllic, like, oh, we're a happy family, started crumbling quickly.
I'll tell you what, that therapist though, I wanted to bitch slap her. Oh, and she was, oh man, half the shit that came out of her mouth, I was like, no. That's sick Esther on her.
Tell us how you really feel, Carly. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying.
I mean, I will say she probably wasn't that great. The one thing I did hear from Kate was her really half-hearted plea to be like, you have to believe me. I'll go to stupid AA if you want me to. I'm like, that doesn't seem like you want to go. It just seems like you're going to do it because people are forcing you to do something, and you'll do it just to placate them. So I thought that was kind of funny. As I'll do whatever you want me to do, but you got to believe me. You have to believe me. I'm like, do we have to believe you? We don't have to do anything. Actually,
yeah, they wanted to put her in a program, and I'm like, people, just listen.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, if she had been out of the picture for longer, a lot more things would have happened for sure.
Yes.
Oh, I have another complaint. Since we're talking about
Oh,
complaints.
okay.
You know how Kate was playing the piano and she's like, you know, we get the indication that she's a teacher. She knows how to write music.
Mhm.
She's writing her little score and some lyrics. And you can't tell me that basketball was making that much of a thud on a concrete exterior wall. They're making it like it was reverberating through the entire house. And I get the girl's deaf-ish, but it was like there's no way in hell that a basketball thrown, you would have heard it through the windows more so than through the actual walls.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, really? You're really
Unless
like,
it was a really poorly constructed house.
I don't know. I love that house. I thought that house was
Yeah.
amazing. Even the tree house was pretty badass.
Oh yeah, I love the tree house.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Hereditary in a little bit. Like it also had a cool house and a cool tree house.
Yeah.
So I like that parallel. I also like the Good Son with Macaulay Culkin parallel.
Oh,
I've not seen that one.
Oh well, then let me not give it away. But
Okay.
but yeah, that's another one where a kid ends up being like evil incarnate.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
and it's yeah. A Good
All
Son
right.
we'll have to put on our list of because it is pretty damn cool. I think.
Yeah. Man.
It was this one just between me and Wanda. I don't know how many times we went. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Did you like sit on the couch together holding hands?
Oh, she was
Staring
behind me, and I was in the big blue chair going. Couldn't help it. It was great.
I mean, hey, listen, at least Esther was taking care of Max, took her wherever she went,
Oh god!
Mhm.
got her involved with things like, hey, you need to help me do this. I mean, pal around. I mean, one of the cool scenes
He
was
manipulated her.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say nothing, but I will say that when the brother, I can't remember his name, was like, what are you
Danny.
saying? And Esther's like, oh, she's saying to pass the whatever. I was like, that just shows you even more how much of a prick this kid was, this boy.
Mhm.
Because didn't even care enough to like learn some rudimentary sign language for his sister.
But then the father, all he did was take away the treehouse. He didn't take away his video games.
Mhm.
He
Well,
didn't take
apparently
away
the
anything
treehouse
else.
was where all the smut was. So
Yeah, true. Very true.
it's true.
Man.
I mean, that stuff would make a man out of you. Apparently the other two kids were all about it. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But really, but most importantly, though, how are we rating this thing? Because so Brooke, you need to ask one of us how we'd like to rate it.
I'll ask you.
Don't ask me. I'm not ready yet. I mean, I did write down a bunch of things I thought would be cool, but I'm gonna rejig my little rating. I kind of like as we're talking about it, and there's some missteps, and there's like things that have been timed up. Upon rewatch, it is rewatchable, so that's a plus. Some of the slowness was a negative, but I love the kids, their interactions. So I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5. And I'm going to give it 4 poorly shot paintballs. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, damn.
How about you, Carly?
How about me? I'm
How
going to
about
give it as, well, I want to say that Ashley gave it a 4.5, but she didn't tell us what.
Okay.
She just said 4.5. I am going to give it a solid 4.2 veneers.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I like that. I like that's solid. I like that. How about you, Miss Brooke?
I'm gonna give it a little higher, a 4.8. Photos of men there.
Oh, yes.
All right. I mean, here's the thing, though. Is there a horror film you don't like? It seems like you also have this on Criterion Collection.
But y'all did do a film that I didn't like, but I wasn't on. It was Hellraiser. I hated Hellraiser. Hated.
Oh,
But
I just
but
found,
I wasn't
so
on
comical.
That's because you didn't have the unrated version at home. That's the only reason why.
So do you have the unrated version of Orphan?
Yes.
What I really want to see is for Brooke to turn her camera around to see her wall of unrated DVDs.
What's added? What's added?
Yeah, is there
I'd love
anything
to
added
know.
to it?
I didn't notice anything different from it. I
Hmm.
didn't notice anything different.
I
Like
hate that.
even from I didn't even notice anything different from it.
Well, see, that's no
Maybe I
good.
need
It's
to
like,
rewatch
what's
it.
unrated about it? Like 2 more swear words? Then what's the point?
Man.
Yeah, even in Megan, even with Megan was unrated, it actually got shorter.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's some irony there.
weird.
They chose to swear more gore, but they trimmed it. So
Mm.
yeah, sometimes
Did
you
y'all
don't get
already
more.
review that one? I think y'all
Yeah.
reviewed
Yes,
it. and
we
that was
did.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give a couple more kudos to the cinematography of this film.
Mhm.
In the beginning, and this is why it was so well done at the beginning, and then because of the change in pace was so jarring. When she's like in that dream state and they're taking her to the hospital and she gets into the chair and blood streaming and she's like, they do that overhead shot
Mhm.
of the nurse wheeling her down and you get that trail behind her.
Mhm.
Amazing. It's like, and that's the thing, is like the cinematography in that way, whoever's doing that unit, that shot sequence was like, oh my God, this is on par with Sinister. And obviously Sinister came after, but like, you know, the blood smearing along a wall or just like that trail
Mhm.
is just so visceral. And just, you know, the viscosity of it. It's just like, yes, this is what I want to see. And then they go ahead and like say, no, we're just going to talk to parents and kids. Wah, wah, wah.
Not yeah, but you know that sister sure got it. Hammer time. Sorry, too
Can't touch this. That's all I'm saying. Although she could be too legit to quit as well.
Oh
True.
my God.
So you have all those things. And here's my question. Did the mother serve any purpose other than a device so that Kate could say, but your mom was here too?
Not really.
It almost served like she had no other point in this
It's
movie.
like they cut her out.
Yeah.
Almost, you know, because
Maybe
she
that's
was
what
very
Brooke has.
critical. She was very critical of Kate
Yes.
in the beginning, and then you didn't hear anything else from
No.
her.
So,
Not
yeah,
even
that's
when the
weird.
fire was going.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's very weird to me, of like having somebody who's there for just 2 specific things,
Mhm.
to make a case and to make a point, and then and to give the kid a quarter to go get a soda pop,
Right.
which is also a terrible thing to do. You got 2 kids and you're not keeping eyeballs on. I mean, that mother's even as bad as Kate.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Well,
let's see kids wandering around hallways.
Kate was the one that said that she couldn't.
Yes.
And then so
And grandma
then it
wants to be
was-
loved,
Uh-huh.
but doesn't actually go with her. I don't know. Just poor grandparenting.
And then she let Max go alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
We go after Esther.
Wondering how-
Okay. I'm going to sit here read my Reader Digest. What is going on?
Like you said, the kids were left alone. Like
Yeah,
majority
way
of
too
the time.
I mean, and I'm all for it because it really was the coolest parts of the film. Kids in jeopardy and kids like that tension building, fantastic. But you're just like, dude, what? Why do we even have parents or grandparents if this is how they're acting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just me. But with that, more importantly, what is the next? Now, I heard through the grapevine from Carly that Ashley's our next because Brooke and Carly swapped week to week. And now Ashley's not here, and it could have been fallen on me to come up. But Ashley, prior to this, before the craziness in the chaos at her home, said what she was going to do. Right. So I will, because Carly told me, she wants to say we're going with Don't Listen on Netflix. I have never heard of this film at all. So now we're back to something I've never seen. So it was always cool to see something different.
Yeah.
I have no clue what it's about. I mean, I could look it up. Maybe Brooke will look it up. She's probably got her computer going.
Yeah, I already am.
All right. Let me know what it is.
Wait a minute.
What?
It was me and Brooke switched, then it's my turn. not Ashley's.
Oh, yeah. So let's not do Ashley's then.
Okay, so we're not doing
Oh, that's
Ashley,
right.
not yet.
My notes are terrible, mind you.
Carly's like, wait a minute.
We're doing.
I'm just trying to set up the tension. Setting up the tension.
Setting up the tension. It's okay.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
okay. You're forgiven because it went straight over my head.
Mine too, apparently. And I actually took notes. So
we are doing Insidious.
Oh, that's right.
And it's
Guess
also
what?
on Netflix.
It's also on Netflix.
Guess what? You've got the unrated.
Now, what's going to have to happen, because Carly and I have already talked about this, there's 5 films in that series.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some you can watch for free, and some you got to pay for, which is not cool. Because I want to watch all of them, but I'm not going to pay money to watch them. So we're all coming to your house, Brooke.
Yeah,
we're all going to come to your house, Brooke, and watch all the films that we can't watch for free.
In the unrated.
Unrated,
Yeah,
yes. The
I got all
Criterion
of them.
Director's Cuts.
You do?
Yeah, I got all of them. on Voodoo.
Unbooted, unrated.
Oh, Voodoo. Okay.
Yeah, I bought them on Voodoo.
Oh, okay. All right, so what you're saying is you don't have walls of DVDs. Some of them are digital.
Yeah, all of them are digital.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you need a bigger apartment the way you're going.
Man.
So, Carly, why did you pick Insidious for us?
Well, because I've wanted to watch it and I've seen stuff for the Red Door, and I figured, well, I better start at the beginning. And I was wondering if I was just wanting to make sure it was horror. So it says it's horror / something else. Mystery?
Paranormal.
Yeah, I'd say mystery.
Okay.
It's supernatural
Yes.
horror. It's kind of got a couple things happening.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Oh, well, as long as you're
It
happy,
doesn't
Carly,
have a therapist I want to bitch slap, does it?
no, but there's a couple investigators that you might feel a certain way about, but that's more on you because I think they were well done. I mean, kind of like The Conjuring, where something happens and then they get a call out to somebody who does this for a living. So there's a couple parallels to The Conjuring, just a little more demonic, I would say.
And my favorite actress is in there too. So Lynn Shane, I think is her name. Lynn, the older lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's good.
She's the investigator.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
It's good. It wouldn't have spawned 4 sequels if it didn't have something going for it. So,
well, the third one's kind of iffy.
Well, maybe that was just a bridge movie.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, they had more story, but they had to get from point A to point B. I don't know.
Isn't number 3 one that's free?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think number 3 is free on Tubi. I think it is.
There you go.
I think it is.
We'll watch all of them. It'll be okay. So with that, Brooke, for this film, any closing thoughts on Orphan?
Just be careful who you adopt.
And I will tell you that adoption process of 3 weeks, a little too fast in my book.
Yeah.
I mean, get your facts straight. That's all I'm saying. But with that, angels and mavens of my coven called horror. Love to you both. Have an amazing week. So big loves.
I can't do it right.
I know. I tell you, I'm going to just get a heart. But thank you so much. And so I'm going to put you in the background. Goodbye and goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Talk Horror to Us. Thank you for being here on our Sunday with us. And just remember, we're always here to scare you later.